Hey everyone, it's New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, 2018. How the hell did that happen? Um, this year sure flew by, didn't it? It did for me anyway. 2018. Wow. So life is short, and I want to talk this morning about a couple of things and maybe dispel a few myths and hopefully inspire a few people for this next year coming up. Um, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't put my little mic on. I'm going to do that right now. The technical stuff. I thought I can't hear myself, but there. How's that? Better. So I want to talk a bit about persistence. Persistence. And what makes things happen and in the world is persistence. And I want to talk. I'm going to just share a little bit about the why of persistence. And I believe that with persistence, if we have a big why, what is it that we're doing? Why are we you know, building whatever it is that we're building? Let me think for a second. Just gonna just take a break. You know, this is actually this is an important. I think this is an important topic. Um, in our town, uh, Calgary, in Alberta, this last couple of years, a lot of people have been tested, severely tested, uh, to see if they've got what it takes. And lots of folks have learned some big lessons. And they've been tough lessons. And so I guess that the topic for persistence is is an important one when we consider where we're at. Um, if you're listening to this, and I guess it really doesn't matter where you're living, um, you know, but in Alberta this last year or two or three, we've had to kind of dig deep. Many of us have had to roll up our sleeves and just really get to work and not watch the clock. I, I said a minute ago, life is short, and it is. Boom, it's kind of gone, and it, what are we going to spend our time at? What are and I think that uh, it, for me, um, in it came in different ways. It kind of there was a time when the economy kind of crashed, when I was in fear of losing stuff, and I was motivated a bit by that, and I was in fear of being a failure, and in fear of going bankrupt, or in fear of not being able to pay my bills, and I had to shift from that to why what was I working for? What was my why? Why was I doing this? And I realized that I didn't have a deep enough why, and I had to find what it is where I wanted to make a difference. What was I good at? What did I love doing? Where was I um, really able to make a difference? And I get that now. It took a while for it to kind of come out. I think I'm good at working with people. I'm good at helping people to see themselves and to look deep and and I so it came right down to for me, my why was I wanted to help people to kind of wake up from their sleepiness, and so many of us are kind of going to work and coming home and watching TV and or having a few beers, or and those are you know are going to the pool hall, or or spending time in the garage working on that old car, and those are good entertainment things. But how does that make a difference in the world? And I think that when we get to the end of our days, we're going to look back and those the things that we're going to look back on and say, wow, that was worthwhile. Those are the things that are part of our why, and that give us deep satisfaction. And so I really had to do some examining. So I'm grateful for how things have been this last few years in Alberta because it's it's helped me to see, you know, that I had to dig deep and you know go to work on delivering a message I've been given you know a pretty amazing life and I've got to, had to, you know I've had the opportunity to travel and be with lots of spiritual teachers and because that's where my interest was and now I think the most important thing I can do is to give that away and part of my giving it away was to, you know, to create a little business around it with my helping people create meditation spaces but I saw pretty quickly that just meditating wasn't enough. That if for me my why had to be to help people to see themselves and yesterday we talked about you know how many of us are stuck in a victim mentality that you know we're in complaint you know and when we're complaining it means that somehow we feel that the world is not serving us that we're not accepting each moment we're in complaint we're thinking that you know we're not getting enough or you know and often it's just the little things we're in complaint about you know I hear people complain about healthcare in Alberta or Canada. And I think, my gosh, you know, we live in one of the most amazing countries in the world. I've traveled. I know, you know, I've been in hospitals in India where, you know, you know, they're not cleaning them. You know, I mean, it's just, I've been in some really tough spots in the world where things are you know, not very well taken care of, especially in the medical side of things and education. You know, we have an amazing education system, and there's so much that we have, and so I find people complain, and that comes out of victim. And we talked about that yesterday, and that's on our YouTube videos. If you want to go back and have a look at it, it was a pretty powerful video that people liked, and I got a lot of comments on it. But the reason I'm mentioning that is that when we're in complaint, when we're in victim, we don't have a big why. We're not in service, you know, and and it's really hard to be persistent in our lives, persistent, say, in creating wealth, if that's what you're interested in, or persistent you know, creating your vision if you don't have one. And this guy, I went earlier this year, and spent some time with Tony Robbins, and Tony, I did the business mastery group with Tony in Florida. Wow, Tony was great. He really was. He was, uh, you know, the picture of persistence is Tony Robbins. You know, the picture of a huge vision is Tony Robbins, and you know, I think that for those of you that are in Alberta watching this, I think that we've been kind of known for many years as being, you know, people who get things done, who roll up our sleeves and really go to work and make a difference, and somehow we've kind of lost that. You know, I see that there's a lot of complaining going on, and instead of people getting up and making a difference, you know, and whatever it is, if you know, if you're not happy with whoever's running your government, then vote them out. You know, if you know, and talk about it, but don't complain. Let's focus on what it is that we want, not on what we don't want. And you know, I think it can be, you know, this our province, our area can be, you know, a huge leader in our country. Tony says, to those souls who will never settle for less than they can be, do, share, and give. Tony's amazing. A little later, he had a couple of quotes. One's from Marcus Aurelius: waste no time arguing about what a good man should be, just be one. And another one from Ayn Rand: money is only a tool. It will take you wherever you wish, but it will not replace you as the driver. And so persistence, means, you know, we get up and we get at it. And I think that if everything we're doing is so that we can have a holiday, then I don't know that that's really that we've got a vision. You know, if everything that we're working for is, you know, so that we can buy a new toy or a bigger house, those things are are not definitely, you know, are not always service orientated. And I love the story of what's his name, the guy in Omaha. Oh, well, I forget his name. He's done so well, and he lives in this, you know, the same house he's been in forever and ever. What is his name? Um, the he's an older guy. Gone right out of my mind. Anyway, driving the old car, stopping at McDonald's. You know, he's a billionaire. You know, and it's not about the stuff that he's got for himself. It's about how is he making a difference, and he's become, you know, an amazing leader in business yeah, with vision. You know, the other one I like is Elon. I'm a big Elon fan. You know, I think Elon has vision. You know, not everybody's happy with him, but that's fine. You know, if we're not pissing a few people off, then we're not making a difference. You know, and because folks want to hang on to the status quo, but Elon has got an opinion, and you know, he's in a very short time. You know, he's built SpaceX and you know, Solar City and Tesla, and those are amazing companies. And this boring company, I see the vision of this. You know, it's huge. So I think we're all inspired by his vision. And I don't think yeah, for Elon it's about the money. You know, I think it's about what he's building and where he's taking mankind. He has a big vision. So dig deep. If you don't have a vision, talk to me about it. Come, we'll chat about it. I can help you dig it out. You know, if you want one, and you know, and I'll share mine and how it came together. And I see, like, my thing is huge. And sometimes my little fears keep me back, but I see it as the possibility of a meditation space in every home. Like I imagine that people meditating will lift the vibration of the whole freaking planet, you know, so a meditation space in every home and every place of work. Like that's huge. You start to extrapolate the numbers. It's like, oh my gosh, that's so big. And you know, like, it scares the hell out of me sometimes. So, you know, I have my little meditation stools that are being made in Indonesia, but I have this vision of making, um, having a lot of them made in India by the Tibetans. There's many Tibetans that are underemployed in India that have had to leave Tibet, and they could do this. And can you imagine sitting on a meditation stool made from recycled wood in India by Tibetan people? You know, so I see that coming as well. You know, because we certainly won't be able to keep up with the volume in the you know, where I'm having them made now. So and that's, you know, part of the vision. Have a big vision. You know, go big, and can you imagine the size of that? That I love the size of that. It's just, you know, so I'm at it. We're at it, and this is part of it. You know, we're building audience. You know, my I think the only thing I have to give, I can't kind of buy my way into that thing. The only thing I have to give is my years and years of study, really, on spirituality, on consciousness, and discovery about myself, and you know, the little nooks and crannies inside of my thinking that have held me back or pushed me forward. And so I'm reinventing myself in my 60s. That's amazing. It's another thing. If you're getting, you know, if you're in your 60s, remember 60s the new 40. If you're in your 60s, recognize it's not done. You know, all of these years of experience that you have, it's time for you to get in the game, stay in the game, and make a difference. And many of us don't have to work for money anymore. We're not motivated by money, actually. It doesn't matter. Kids are grown up, and what we're motivated by is, are we making a difference? You know, are we helping people? So that's the deal. Persistence. The other one I wanted to talk about a little bit is gratitude. Um, so as this year closes, 2018, I just want to look back on all the people that helped me and this vision. You know, I've some. great men have stepped up and believed in me and believed in in what we're doing, and I'm grateful. You know, it's a you know, if you have a vision, by the way, people will get behind it. You know, um, you know, my brother Bob used to say, "Lead, follow, or get the hell off the road." And so lead, and I feel like because I've been stepping up with a vision, you know, a lot of people have helped. A lot of people have stepped in with some dough to help get this thing going, and you know, it hasn't kind of taken off as fast as I wanted to. I'm oh so optimistic. My optimism sometimes gets me in shit, you know, because I imagine everything's going to happen way faster than it does. And but what can you do? You just uh, I had an old friend, Ray Ward, years ago, and Ray used to say, look, you set a goal, and he got it written down, and if you get to the time, you know, when your goal isn't, it hasn't happened, he said you go in the bathroom and you take your clothes off, and you look in the mirror, and he says, if, you know, it's the same you, then put your pants back on and change the date. Just change the date. Said, that's all. And so, you know, uh, my optimism is you know, sometimes gets me in a little bit of trouble, but whatever. I'm a believer, and so a lot of, you know, not everything that I expected to happen in 2018 did, but a lot of great stuff did happen. You know, we got our first order of our stools and our little altars, and you know, we got a lot of, you know, this whole thing that we're doing right now is happening, and people are following it. So I'm grateful. I think gratitude is is uh, is the juice, you know, and so thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for all your support and help this year. Gratitude is the lubricant that helps things to flow. You know, gratitude is part of love. You know, gratitude is love, and so I love you and thank you for your support this year, and for, you know who you are. For those of you who've you know, helped out this year financially, um, it'll come together next year. Actually, I'm going to come and get ask for more because it's big, and I'm not a quitter. I'm a persister, and I have a vision and I have a why. So if anything, I want to inspire you. I want to inspire you know, young men and young women, and everybody. You know, you're sitting at home and wondering what's going to happen this next year. Find something to do, somewhere to dig in. It can be volunteer work. The thing is that you can't. It's like putting wood in the fireplace. You can't have heat without it, and so your service is like the wood that goes in the fireplace. You're going to generate heat, and so find a place to serve. And you know, if you got your day job, great. Then work somewhere else at night to serve, and find a vision, somewhere to give back. There's lots of places to help out, and I don't mean to enable people in their victim story, but you know, there's folks that need to be lifted up, and let's do that. And if you don't have a place to help, come and help us. We have a big vision, and we're meditating here on Monday nights. Come and meditate with us, and we're going to actually expand the back into more meditation space this year in 2019, and yeah, we've got lots on the go. Um, yeah, if just totally off topic, but you know, we're going to need some more people to help with all this social media stuff. I think that, you know, part of the vision of creating what we want to create is that we're going to need to be seen more and more and more. So we're going to do lots of these videos, and starting in the next day or two, um, we're going to read one of my favorite books. I love another author and teacher. He's passed now, but David Hawkins, Dr. David Hawkins. We're going to read his book, Letting Go. It's a beautiful book, and really helps with you know, the nuts and bolts of awareness. You know thyself. Know thyself is you know, means some work. We got to look deep, and if we don't, what happens with Hawkins is he gives us the words to identify our feelings. It gives us the words to identify, you know, where we're holding back and where we are vibrationally when we're in the lower, like in grief, or when we're in sadness, or when we're in fear. And we don't have to live in any of those places. Most of those places come because we're not accepting life on life's terms. You know, now accepting life on life's terms doesn't mean that we're not persistent and want to make change, or that we want to lift ourselves up. Accepting life on life's terms means that we see that the opportunity in everything, that we can recognize that the gift and grace in everything. And so when we're sad about somebody passing, remember that they were a gift, and none of us are staying for very long. And uh, so what we get to do here is make a difference. We get to make a difference. We're so, we're born in Canada, you know, my gosh, we're so fortunate, we're so lucky that um, the the possibilities of being born at this time, you know, probably one of the greatest times on the planet, and you know, in this country or in the United States, is you know, so fortunate, such a you know, a high opportunity, a high level to be born here. So so much to be grateful for. You know, not just our friends and our family, although those are amazing, and you know, but look at where we are. It's amazing, and so maybe if you can't see it, sit down and write out a gratitude list. You know, many years I wrote out gratitude lists, and you just sit down and write down, you know, all the things we have to be grateful for. This beautiful country we live in, you know, the, the weather, no matter what's going on, it's to be grateful for. You know, if you had food in your belly this morning, you're grateful. You know, clothes on, yeah, you've got a place to sleep. Wow, those are all the basics, and then move up from there. Your health, no matter what's happening. Uh, you know, for the breath you're taking right now, gratitude. So make a list. I be grateful, and you know, focus on the why. Why? What is it that you want, and why? And you know, what's your mission? What's your vision? What's your passion? What's your purpose? And I'm so grateful that I've got mine, and I want to share mine with everybody, the world, and I'm going to. I am. We are. So there it is. Persistence is the key. Gratitude, and you know, and a why, having a big why. Those are my messages for today. And you know, 2019, it's going to be so friggin' exciting. 2019 is an exciting year coming at us. You know, and just go into it with gratitude and love, and you know, amazing things are going to happen in Alberta and Canada and on the planet. Good things are happening on the planet. You know, people are paying attention, and you know, the lots of times news focuses on you know, the negative, but there is great things happening, and I see them around me all the time, and so you guys, that's kind of my message, my parting shot for 2018. I am grateful. Thank you for all, you know, my friends and you people that have been following us this year. I love you. And dropping into the store. Come and visit us. We're open today. We're going to be here. You know, Earl came to us this year, and Earl's come and say hello to Earl. He loves the vision and sees the possibility, and I'm grateful for him to have come along and joined in what we're doing, and has passion for it, and you know, that's exciting to have you know, somebody that's wanting to work with you with passion, and if you have a vision, share it with people. You know, and if you share it with people, people will get behind it, just like it's happened here. So I think that's it. Love my kids, and you know, here's to all the beautiful relationships in the world, and you know, just whoever you're with these days, just love them, and accept them, and you know, and remember that their life is meaningful to them, and your life is meaningful to you, and it's short. So let's make a difference, and let's kick some ass in 2019. And Alberta's time is coming this year. We're gonna, lead. Let's lead. And anyway, it's a little when I'm talking about Alberta, maybe I'm keeping the vision a little small, but I have empathy, and I see you guys, and I see that, you know trying to figure out what's next. Let's figure out together, and let's move forward together. Okay, cheers. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon.